It started with a whisper that no one could explain. The Miller house stood like a wound at the edge of the small Oregon town, its windows black, its paint peeled, its walls soaked in silence. Locals said the fire should have destroyed it back in 1989 when the Miller family was found murdered inside, but somehow the house refused to burn. When a young group of documentary filmmakers arrived to uncover the truth, they expected ghost stories, not evidence. The moment they stepped through the door, the temperature dropped. The walls groaned as if breathing. That night, one of them disappeared. The only thing left behind was his camera, still recording. When they watched the footage, they saw something impossible: a small child standing in the corner, staring straight into the lens. Then came the whisper, a cold voice that said, "You shouldn't be here." The footage was never meant to exist. When detectives reviewed it, they noticed faces flickering behind the mirrors, pale and motionless, like the murdered Miller family still watching. Emma, the director, couldn't stop herself. She needed answers. Every time she played the clip, new images appeared: hallways stretching, doors opening by themselves, reflections moving when no one did. When she uploaded a short clip online, strange things happened. Viewers started leaving comments that they saw their own faces distorted in the screen. Others claimed to hear their names whispered. The power flickered in Emma's motel that night, and in the window's reflection, she saw something standing behind her. The next morning, her laptop showed an unsent email written in her own name that said, "They found me." The town's retired sheriff finally agreed to speak after 30 years of silence. He confessed that the Miller house was once owned by a private lab running experiments funded by the government, psychological trials meant to record and manipulate human emotions. The Millers were not random victims. They were the test subjects. Their memories were supposed to be erased, but something went wrong. The journalist who uncovered this found blueprints with hidden rooms beneath the basement. Emma and her team returned to film one last time, crawling through rotted floors and narrow passages. They found scratch marks and messages carved into the walls. "We never left." As they reached the basement door, the air turned cold and heavy. The last thing they heard before the door slammed shut was a child's laughter echoing from beneath the floor. They broke through the basement wall into a hidden chamber lined with rusted surgical tables and chains. The smell of iron filled the air. Emma opened a drawer and found a bloodstained file labeled Project Echo. It described an attempt to transfer human memories into physical spaces using sound frequencies. Suddenly, their radios burst with static. Then came a voice, Emma's own, distorted and screaming. Their phones lit up with unread messages from unknown numbers, all repeating the same phrase: "The house remembers." One of the crew crawled into a vent, desperate to escape. Minutes later, they pulled him back out, eyes wide and empty. He kept repeating a single sentence over and over: "We never left." Emma pieced together the truth. Project Echo wasn't abandoned. It worked. The experiment had trapped the minds of its subjects inside the house. The Millers were still there, living their deaths on a loop, and the more people entered, the stronger the loop became. The townspeople begged her to leave, warning her about the recall, a day when the house would claim anyone who'd entered. But obsession consumed her. She set up cameras overnight. The footage showed her sleeping but whispering unfamiliar names. When she woke, those same names were carved into her arms. They weren't random. They were the names of the Miller children. She realized she wasn't just recording history. She was becoming part of it. Soon the town itself began to vanish. Roads turned into dead ends, signs disappeared, and GPS systems couldn't locate the place anymore. Locals who tried to leave found themselves driving in circles. A drone crew sent to document the house reported that it had moved, standing miles away from its original foundation. Emma's video spread worldwide, but viewers began reporting hallucinations and identical nightmares: walls breathing, rooms flooding, shadows whispering. The FBI sealed the area, but each night the satellite imagery changed, showing the house reappearing in different spots. Something inside it wanted to be found. Desperate, Emma decided to end the curse herself. She carried gasoline and matches into the house. But the walls shifted as if alive, trapping her in endless corridors. Doors disappeared. Stairs led back to the same hallway. Figures appeared, ghostly forms of the Miller family, their faces pleading for release. She reached the basement again and found a glowing machine humming softly, the memory core. Destroying it might free them. But when she looked in the glass, she saw her reflection morphing into Mrs. Miller. Her voice wasn't her own anymore. The last words she screamed before the flames erupted were, "It remembers us all." Weeks later, Emma's documentary appeared online under her channel, even though her account was deleted. The upload date changed daily, and no one could trace its origin. The final scene showed Emma smiling faintly, whispering, "If you see this, don't come looking." People who watched the video claimed that their screens reflected a house behind them, the same house. Authorities denied any connection, but every time they deleted the video, it reappeared. The last frame froze on the front door creaking open and a message appearing in blood-red letters. "The murder house welcomes you home."